Bing bongy bong, bing bongy bong. This is Joe, the bearded historian. He'll tell you an interesting story. Be careful of his soldiers, they can be brats. This is Angel, she's an entity. She'll cause chaos and plant her hands at you. This is Sue, she likes spirits, not the alcohol. She's the reason this channel exists. This is David, he likes fire trucks. He's here occasionally. Bing bongy bong, bing bongy bong, bing bongy bong. We preserve his story.
Alright, it is Wednesday. I'm just going to ramble about a baseball player because baseball is a thing. It's a little bit controversial, so be nice. But you guys are always nice, so I'm not really too worried about it. Today's race, I've chosen swimming because it's going to be a hot one. Today? I just said today. We have a heat warning. Whatever that means. I think basically it means it's going to be hot. But what do I know? Are you guys ready? Here we go. Shout out time. Here's a shout out just for you. You support me, so I support you. The shout out is for our friends. Let's see who it is today, okay? And start. Or not. Start. Or not. There we go. There we go. There we go. Alright, so we got She Stole. We got Amanda. Rubies. Excuse me. There's George. There's Debbie. There's Amanda. My Linda. Really Haunted. Right Touch. Northern. John. Richard. Cable. Bobby. Let's see. Tammy. Donna. Mayhem. Swoop. Nacho. Jacob. JB. Rye. TNT. Turtle. Teza. Northern. Reef. Justice. Laney. Kel King. There's Pinned. Distracted. Penrosa. Oh, it looks like it's going to be George. Is it George right? Am I right? Or maybe it's Right Touch. It is Right Touch. Hold on. Alright. A Right Touch of fishing is, of course, a fishing channel. We cover sea fishing, freshwater fishing, bait preparation, rig banking, and includes everyday life. And this is Nicola, and Mick. And so if you like fishing or any of that other stuff, check them out. Like, share, comment. Have a good day. Alright, bearded historian, tell us something interesting.
Yeah, try to.
No.
We're in the middle of baseball season.
Are we?
That funky sport. The rules have changed just a little bit. There's now a pitch clock, which is weird. You got to be up to the bat and be in the batting box for a certain amount of time. I mean, it's really weird. They're trying to make the games go faster. They got rid of one umpire who wasn't very popular, Angel Hernandez. But today, our happy little topic centers around a guy by the name of Barry Bonds, who was born on July 24th, 1964. So he becomes 60. Now, interesting thing on Bonds, a lot of people already know a lot of this because, well, he was a pretty, depending on who you were, you either liked the guy or you hated him. I mean, he was kind of polarizing to that effect. Born in California, former major leaguer. His dad was a baseball player as well, Bobby Bonds, and grew up in San Carlos and attended Junipero Serra High School in San Mateo, where he excelled in basketball, baseball, and football. He played on the junior varsity team during his freshman year and on the varsity team in the remainder of the high school career. He would hit .467 for an average his senior year, which is really good. He was named to the Prep All-American team. Well, interestingly enough, the Giants tried to draft him in the second round in 1982.
Fun.
Unfortunately, the Giants and Bonds were unable to agree on contract terms when Tom Holler's maximum offer was $70,000, Bonds' minimum to go pro was $75,000. So Bonds instead decided to go to college. Well, he would in turn go to Arizona State University and hit .347 with 45 home runs. And in 1984, he would hit .360 and had 30 stolen bases. In 85, he'd get 23 more home runs and 66 RBIs with a .368 batting average, and would be a Sporting News All-American selection that year. He tied the NCAA record with 7 consecutive hits in the College World Series as a sophomore, and was named to the all-time College World Series team in 1996. Interestingly enough, he was not well liked by his teammates, in part because of the words of longtime coach Jim Brock, who said he was rude, inconsiderate, and self-centered. Sounds like Bonds. When he was suspended for breaking curfew, the other players initially voted against him to return, even though he was easily the best player on the team. Well, he graduated from Arizona State in 1986 with a degree in criminology. He was named to the ASU On-Deck Circle Most Valuable Player. Other winners would include Dustin Pedroia, Willie Bloomquist, Paul Lo Duca, and Ike Davis. Well, during college, he would play part of one summer in the Amateur Alaska Baseball League with the Alaska Gold Panthers. Well, the Pirates would take the next shot in the draft on him, 6th overall pick in the 1985 Major League Baseball draft, and would join the Prince William Pirates in the Carolina League, and was named the July 1985 Player of the Month for the league. In '86, he would hit .311 in 44 games for the Hawaiian Islanders of the Pacific Coast League. Well, before Bonds made it to the major leagues in Pittsburgh, Pirate fan attendance was low, with 1984 and 1985 attendance below 10,000 people per game for an 81 home game schedule. With the attendance woes being a combination of both economic problems of Western Pennsylvania in the early 80s, as well as the Pittsburgh drug trials, which directly affected the Pirates going from World Series champions to nearly relocating to Denver in only 6 years. Ouch. Well, Bonds made his Major League debut on May 30th, 1986, and he led the National League rookies with 16 home runs, 48 RBIs, 36 stolen bases, and 65 walks, but would finish 6th in the Rookie of the Year voting. He played center field in 1986, but switched to left with the arrival of center field Andy Van Slyke in 1987. Well, in his early years, Bonds batted as leadoff hitter. With Van Slyke also in the outfield, the Pirates had a venerable defensive tandem that worked together to cover a lot of the ground in the field, although they were not close off the field. The Pirates experienced a surge in fan enthusiasm, and Bonds on the team set the club attendance record of 52,119 in the 1987 home opener. That year, he hit 25 home runs in the second season, along with 32 stolen bases and 59 RBIs. Not shabby stats for the early 80s. I should say late 80s. Bonds, in 1988, would improve on that, hitting .283 with 24 home runs. Bonds broke the record set the previous year with 54,089 attending the home opener. Bonds now fit in with a highly respected lineup featuring Bobby Bonilla, Van Slyke, and Jay Bell. He finished with 19 homers, 58 RBIs, and 14 outfield assists in '89, which was second in the National League. Now, following this season, rumors that he would be traded to the Dodgers for Jeff Hamilton and John Wetland, but the team denied the rumors and no such trade occurred. Well, Bonds would go on to win his first MVP award in 1990, hitting .301 with 33 home runs and 114 RBIs. He also stole 52 bases, which was third in the league, and became the first-time member of the 30-30 Club. He also won his first Gold Glove and Silver Slugger Award. That year, the Pirates also won the National League East for their first postseason berth since winning the 1979 World Series. However, the Cincinnati Reds, whose last postseason berth also was 1979, defeated the Pirates in the NLCS en route to winning the 1990 World Series. Well, 91 Bonds also put up great numbers, getting 25 homers and driving in 116 runs, obtained another Gold Glove and Silver Slugger. He finished second to Atlanta Braves' Terry Pendleton in the MVP voting. Well, in March of 1992, Pirates general manager Ted Simmons agreed to a deal with the Atlanta Braves counterpart John Schuerholz to trade Bonds in exchange for Alejandro Pena, Keith Mitchell, and a player to be named later. Now, Pirates manager Jim Leyland opposed the trade vehemently, and the proposal was rescinded. Bonds would stay in Pittsburgh and win his second MVP award that season. While hitting .311 with 34 home runs and 103 RBIs, he propelled the Pirates to their third straight National League East Division title. However, Pittsburgh would be defeated by the Braves in a 7-game National League Championship Series. Bonds participated in the final play of the Game 7, where he fielded a base hit by Francisco Cabrera and attempted to throw out Sid Bream at home plate. But the throw to Pirates catcher Mark Valare was late, and Beam scored the winning run. For the third consecutive season, the NL East champion Pirates were denied a trip to the World Series. Following the loss, Bonds and star teammate Doug Graybeck were expected to command salaries too high for Pittsburgh to sign them. Bonds was never well liked by reporters or fans while in Pittsburgh, despite winning 2 MVP awards. One paper even gave him an award as the MDP, Most Despised Pirate.
Yeah.
Well, in 1993, Bonds left the Pirates to sign a lucrative free agent contract worth then a record $43.75 million.
Thanks.
Over 6 years with the Giants, with whom his father had spent the first 7 years of his career, and with whom his godfather, Willie Mays, played 22 of his 24 Major League seasons. Now, the deal at that time was the largest in baseball history in terms of both value and average annual salary. Well, once he signed with the Giants, Bonds had intended to wear the number 24, his number with most of the stay with the Pirates, and after receiving Mays' blessing, the Giants were willing to unretire it until the public commotion from fans and media became too much.
Well then.
To honor his father, Bonds switched his jersey number to 25, as had been Bobby's number in San Francisco. In the emotional press conference announcing the signing, Bonds described joining the Giants as going home and following in the footsteps of his father and godfather as unbelievable and a boyhood dream come true. His father also joined the team as a coach the same year. During a game against Colorado in May 12, 1933, both Bonds and his father, along with Gerald Clark and Ron Hassey of the Rockies, were ejected for their role in an on-field fight. Like father, like son.
Well then. Fight Club.
Yes. Bonds would hit .336 that year, leading the league with 46 home runs, 123 RBIs, en route to his second consecutive MVP award, third overall. Now, as good as the Giants were, winning 103 games, this is what sucked. They lost the pennant race to the Braves, who won 104 that year.
Ooh, so close.
Yep. And interestingly enough, the year after, the wild card was instituted.
Whee!
Yeah. I remember that year. It was really sucky because the very last game, they turned to a rookie for their season. And, yeah. They didn't make it. Well, in 1995, Bonds would hit 33 homers, driving 104 runs, hitting .294, but finishing only 12th in the MVP voting. In 94, he appeared in a small role as himself in the television film Jane's House, starring James Wood and Ann Archer. Well, in 96, Bonds became the first National League player and second Major League player of the current list of 4 to hit 40 home runs and steal 40 bases in the same season.
Ooh.
The other members of this club are Jose Canseco in 1988, Alex Rodriguez in 1998, and Alfonso Soriano in 2006. Interestingly enough, his father, Bobby Bonds, was 1 home run short in 1973 when he hit 39 home runs and stole 43 bases.
Ouch.
1 short. Well, Bonds would hit his 300th and 301st home runs off Florida Marlins' John Burkett on April 27th. He became the 4th player in history to join the 300 club with 300 stolen bases and 300 home runs for a career, joining Willie Mays, Andre Dawson, and his father. Bonds' total for the season included 129 runs driven in, a .308 batting average, and a then National League record 151 walks. He would finish 5th in the MVP balloting. Well, in 1997, Bonds would hit .291, his lowest average since 1989, driving in 40 home runs for the second straight year, driving in 101 runs, and lead the leagues in walk again with 145. He also would steal 37 bases, tying his father for having the most 33 seasons, 5. And he again placed 5th in the MVP balloting. Well, in 1998, with 2 outs in the 9th inning of a game against Arizona on the 29th, Bonds became only the 5th player in history to be given an intentional walk with the bases loaded. The other players, Nap LaJoie, Del Bissonette, and Bill Nicholson, were the other 3 players in the 20th century who received this rare honor. The first to receive one was a fellow named Abner Dalrymple in 1881.
Interesting.
Apparently, if they don't want you to cause as much damage, just walk them and give them 1 run. August 23rd, Bonds hit his 400th home run. By doing so, he became the first player ever to enter the 400-400 club by having career totals of 400 home runs and 400 stolen bases. He is still the only player to achieve this feat. The milestone home run came off Kurt Ojeda, who, like Burkett, was pitching for the Marlins. For the season, he hit .303 with 37 home runs, drove in 122 runs while winning his 8th Gold Glove. He finished 8th in the MVP voting. Basically, getting a Gold Glove for him was kind of okay.
Have it.
Yeah.
I got one.
This is mine. Now, in 1999 marked a career low up to that point for Bonds in terms of playing time. He started off the season hitting pretty well with a .366 batting average in the month of April with 4 home runs and 12 RBIs in the first 12 games of the season. But then on April 18th, he was put on the 15-day disabled list for only the second time in his career. Bonds had suffered a torn tendon in his biceps as well as bone spurs in his elbow, both which required surgery and cost him the rest of April and all of May. Upon returning, Bonds struggled somewhat at the plate for the remainder of the 99 season. A series of nagging injuries, including elbow pain, knee inflammation, and groin issues, hampered his play.
Oh dear. Only
hitting .248 after his return from the disabled list, he still managed to slug 34 home runs and drive in 83 runs as well, and hitting a .617 slugging percentage, despite missing nearly 2 full months with injuries and only playing in 102 games. Now, Bill James would rank Bonds as the best player in the 1990s. He added that the decade's second-best player, Craig Biggio, had been closer in production to the decade's 10th-best player than to Bonds. In 1999, the statistics through 1997 being considered, Bonds ranked number 34 on the Sporting News' 100 greatest baseball players, making him the highest-ranking active player. Well, when the Sporting News list was redone in 2005, Bonds was ranked 6th, behind Babe Ruth, Willie Mays, Ty Cobb, Walter Johnson, and Hank Aaron.
Well done.
Bonds was omitted from the 99 Major League Baseball All-Century team, which included Ken Griffey Jr., who was elected. James wrote of Bonds, certainly the most unappreciated superstar of my lifetime. Griffey's always been more popular, but Bonds has been a far greater player. In 99, he rated Bonds as the 16th best player of all time. When people began to take in all of his accomplishments, he predicted, Bonds may well be rated among the 5 greatest players of history of the game.
I don't think so.
Yeah. In 2000, the following year, he hit .306 with career best through that time in both slugging percentage and home runs, with 49 in just 143 games. He also drew a league-leading 117 walks. Well, the next year, in 2001, Bonds' offensive production reached even higher levels, breaking not only personal records, but several major league records. In his first 50 games, he hit 28 home runs, including 17 in May. This early stretch included his 500th home run, hit on April 17th against Terry Adams of the Dodgers. He also hit 39 home runs by the All-Star break, and drew a major league record 177 walks, and had a .515 on-base average, a feat not seen since Mickey Mantle and Ted Williams over 40 years earlier. Bonds' slugging percentage was a major league record of .863, total bases of 476 at-bats of .411, and ended the season with a major league 73 home runs. Well, on October 4th, by homering off of Wilfredo Rodriguez in the 159th game of the season, Bonds tied the previous record of 70 set by McGwire, which McGwire set in his 162nd game in 1988. He then hit numbers 71 and 72 the following night off Chan Ho Park. Bonds added 73 off of Dennis Springer on October 7th. The ball was later sold to toy manufacturer Todd McFarlane for $450,000. The previously bought by McGuire, he also had bought in 1998. Bonds received the Babe Ruth Home Run Award that year for leading the league in home runs that year. Now, Bonds would re-sign for a 5-year, $90 million contract in January of 2002. He hit 5 home runs in the Giants' first 4 games of the season, tying Lou Brock's 35-year-old record for the most home runs after 4 games. He won the National League batting title with a career-high 370 average and struck out only 47 times. He hit 46 home runs in 403 at-bats. Now, despite playing 9 fewer games than the previous season, he drew 198 walks, a major league record. 68 of them were intentional, surpassing Willie McCovey's 45 and 69 for another major league record. He slugged .799, then the 4th highest total of all time. Bonds would break Ted Williams' major league record for on-base average with .582. Bonds would hit his 600th home run less than a year and a half after hitting his 500th. The home run came on August 9th in the home run against Kip Wells of the Pirates. Now, in 2002, Bonds would bat .322 with 8 home runs, 16 RBIs, and 27 walks in the postseason en route to the 2002 World Series, which the Angels would beat the Giants 4-3 in 7 games. In 2003, Bonds would only play in 130 games. He hit 45 home runs, just 390 at-bats, along with a .341 batting average. He slugged .749, walked 148 times, and had an on-base average of well over 500 for the 3rd straight year. He also became only the member of the career 500 home run, 500 solo base club by stealing second base on June 23rd off of pitcher Eric Gagne in the 11th inning of a tied ball game against the Dodgers. Bonds scored the game-winning run later that inning. In 2004, Bonds had perhaps his best season. He hit .362 en route to his 2nd National League batting title and broke his own record by walking 232 times, including 120 intentional walks. He slugged .812, which was the 4th highest of all time, and broke his on-base percentage with a record of .609 average. Bonds passed Mays on the career home run list by hitting his 661st off of Ben Ford on April 13th. He then hit his 700th off Jake Peavy on September 17th. Bonds hit 45 home runs in 373 at-bats and struck out just 41 times, putting himself in elite company, as few major leaguers have ever had more home runs than strikeouts in a season. Bond would win his 4th consecutive MVP award and 7th overall. His 7 MVP awards are 4 more than any other player in history. In addition, no other player from either league has been awarded the MVP 4 times in a row. The MVP award was first given in 1931. The 40-year-old Bonds also broke Willie Stargell's 25-year record as the oldest player to win the Most Valuable Player award. Stargell, at 39 years, 8 months, was the National Award co-MVP with Keith Hernandez in 79. On July 4th, he tied and passed Rickey Henderson's career bases ball record with 2,190 and 2,191st career walks. Well, as Bonds neared Aaron's record, Aaron was called on for his opinion of Bonds. He clarified that he was a fan and admirer of Bonds and avoided the controversy regarding whether the record should be denoted with an asterisk for Bonds' alleged steroid usage. He felt recognition and respect for the award was something to be determined by the fans. As the steroid controversy received greater media attention, Aaron expressed some reservations about the statements Bond had made on the issue. Aaron expressed that he felt drug and steroid use to boost athletic performance was inappropriate. Aaron was frustrated that the media should not focus on the events that occurred in the field of play and wished drugs or gambling allegations, such as those associated with Pete Rose, could be emphasized less. In 2007, Aaron felt the whole steroid issue was very controversial and decided that he would not attend any possible record-breaking games. Aaron congratulated Bonds through media, including a video played on the scoreboard when Bonds eventually broke the record in August of 2007. Bond's salary for the 2005 season was $22 million, the second highest salary in Major League Baseball. Alex Rodriguez of the Yankees at that time was making $25.2 million. Bonds endured a knee injury, multiple surgeries, and rehabilitation. He was activated on September 12th and started in left field.
I like that term, activated, like he's a robot.
Yes. Plug-in robot, go. In his return against the San Diego Padres, he nearly hit a home run in his first at-bat. Bonds finished the night 1 for 4. Upon his return, Bonds resumed his high-caliber performance at the plate, hitting home runs in 4 consecutive games from September 18th to the 21st, finishing with 5 home runs in only 14 games. Well, in 2006, he earned a $20 million salary, fourth highest salary in baseball through the 2006 season. He had earned approximately $172 million during his 21-year career, making him baseball's all-time highest paid player. Bonds would hit under 200. A second. Trying not to sneeze. Bonds hit under 200 for the first 10 games of the season, did not hit a home run until April 22nd. This 10-game stretch was his longest home run slump since the 1998 season. On May 7th, Bond drew within 1 home run of tying Babe Ruth for second place on the all-time list, hitting a 713th home run in Philadelphia off John Lieber. Of course, the Giants would wind up losing that game to the Phillies. The towering home run, one of the longest in Citizen Park 2-season history, traveling an estimated 450 feet, hit off the facade of the third deck in right field. On May 20th, Bonds would hit the 714th career home run, deep right field, to lead off the top of the second inning, tying Ruth for second all-time. The home run came off left-handed pitcher Brad Hazley of the Oakland A's in an interleague game played in Oakland, California. Since this was an interleague game at the American League Stadium, Bonds was batting as a designated hitter in the lineup for the Giants. Bonds was quoted after the game as being glad it's over with and stated that more attention could be focused on Albert Pujols, who was on a very rapid home run pace in early 2006. On May 28th, Bonds passed Ruth, hitting his 715th home run to center field off Colorado Rockies pitcher Brian Young Kim. The ball was hit an estimated 445 feet into center field, where it went through the hands of several fans, but then it fell onto an elevated platform in center field. Then it rolled off the platform, where Andrew Maltzler, a 30-year-old San Francisco resident, caught the ball while he was in line at a concession stand. Mysteriously, radio broadcaster Dave Fleming's radio play-by-play of the home run went silent just as the ball was hit, apparently from a microphone failure. But the televised version, called by Giant broadcaster Dan Coupier, was not affected. On September the 22nd, Bonds would tie Henry Aaron's National League career home run record of 733. The home run came at the top of the 6th inning by a high-scoring game against the Milwaukee Brewers at Miller Park. The achievement was notable for its occurrence in the very city where Aaron began with the Milwaukee Braves and concluded with the Brewers, then in the American League his career. With the Giants trailing 10-8, Bonds hit a blast deep to center on a 2-0 pitch off the Brewers' Chris Sperling with runners on first and second and 1 out. Though the Giants were at the time clinging only to a slim chance of making the playoffs, Bonds' home run provided the additional drama of giving the Giants an 11-10 lead late in the game. They would eventually lose the game to the Brewers 13-12, though the Bonds went 3 for 5 with 2 doubles, the record-tying home run, and 6 runs batted in. On the 23rd, Bonds would surpass Aaron for the NL career home run record. Hit in Milwaukee like the previous one, this was a solo home run off Chris Capopato of the Brewers. This was the last home run Bonds hit in 2006. Bonds recorded his lowest slugging percentage, a statistic that he had historically ranked among the league's leaders season after season since '91 with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Well, in 2007, the New York Daily News reported that Bonds had tested positive for amphetamines. Under baseball's amphetamine policy, which had been in effect for 1 season, players testing positive were to submit to 6 additional tests and undergo treatment and counseling. The policy also stated the players were not to be identified for a first positive test, but the New York Daily News leaked the test results.
Yeah, they're wonderful people.
Yep. While the Players Association informed Bonds of the test results, he initially attributed the substance he had taken from the locker of Giants teammate Mark Sweeney. I'm going to get him in trouble instead.
He didn't.
But it would later retract this claim and publicly apologize to Sweeney. Now, in 2007, the Giants finalized a contract with him for 2007 after the Commissioner's Office rejected Bond's one-year $15.8 million deal because it contained a personal appearance provision. The team sent revised documents to his agent, Jim Morris, who stated at that time, Barry is not signing any new documents. Bonds would sign a revised one-year $15.8 contract on February 15th and reported to the Giants spring training camp on time. Bonds resumed his march to the all-time record early in 2007 in the season opener on April 3rd. He had a first inning single past third base with the infield shifted right, immediately followed by a stolen base thrown out at home by a base running mistake, followed by a deep fly out to left field late in the game. Bonds regrouped the next day, and with his first at-bat in the second game of the season, he hit a pitch from Chris Young just over the wall and left to straightaway center for a career home run, 735. This home run put Bonds past the halfway point between Ruth and Aaron. Bonds did not homer again until April 13th when he hit two on a 3-for-3 night that included 4 RBIs. Bonds splashed the pitch by St. Louis Cardinals pitcher Ryan Franklin into McGovey Cub on the 18th for 738. 739 and 40 came on back-to-back games on April 21st and 22nd against the Diamondbacks. And as the home run speculation escalated by May 14th on that day, Sports Auctions for Heritage, a Dallas-based auction house, offered a $1 million bonus for any fan who would catch Bonds' record-breaking ball of 756. The $1 million offer was rescinded by June 11th out of concern for fan safety. Home run 748 came on Father's Day of June 17th, the final game of a 3-game road series against the Red Sox, where Bonds had never previously played. With the home run, Fenway Park became the 36th Major League ballpark which Bonds had hit a home run. He had a Tim Wakefield knuckleballer just over the low fence into the Giants' bullpen in right field. It was the first home run off a former Pittsburgh Pirate teammate who had became his 441st different pitcher to surrender a home run to. The 750th career home run, hit on June 29th, also came off a former teammate, Livan Hernandez. Came in the 8th inning at that point in a game, tied at 3-3. Rolling through the numbers, we got 754 against the Marlins, against Rick Vanderhorst. Bonds had walked in the next 4 at-bats in the game, but a 2-run shot helped the Giants win the game 12-10. Marked the first time that he had hit 747 that Bonds had homered in a game the Giants had won. On August 4th, he hit a 382-foot home run against Clay Hensley of the Padres for number 755, tying Hank Aaron's all-time record. Bonds greeted his son Nikolai with an extended bear hug after crossing home plate. Bonds greeted his teammates and then his wife, Liz Watson, and daughter, Alicia Lynn, behind the backstop. Hensley was his 445th different pitcher to give up a home run to Bonds. Ironically, given the cloud of suspicion that surrounded Bonds, the tying home run was hit off a pitcher who had been suspended by baseball in 2005 for steroid use.
Well then.
Yeah, he was walked in the next at-bat and eventually scored on a fielder's choice. Now, August 7th of 8:51 p.m. at Oracle Park, then known as AT&T Park in San Francisco, Bonds would hit a 435-foot home run, the 756th off of Mike Bassick of the Washington Nationals, breaking the all-time career home run record, formerly by Hank Aaron. Coincidentally, Bassick's father had also faced Aaron, as a pitcher for the Texas Rangers, after Aaron had hit his 755th home run. On August 23rd, Michael Bassick held Aaron to a single and fly out in right field. The younger Bassick commented later, "If my dad had been gracious enough to let Hank Aaron hit one, we both would have given up 756. After the hitting of the home run, Bond gave Bassick an autographed bat. This was special.
Ooh, special.
Yes. The pitch, which was the 7th of the at-bat, was a 3-2 pitch which Bonds hit into the right field center bleachers. The fan who ended up with the ball, a 22-year-old Matt Murphy from Queens, and a Mets fan, was promptly protected and escorted away from the mayhem by a group of police officers. After Bonds finished the home run trot, a 10-minute delay followed by a brief video of Aaron congratulating Bonds on the breaking of the home run for 33 years and expressing the hope that the achievement of the record will inspire others to chase their own dreams. Bond made an impromptu emotional statement on the field with Willie Mays, his godfather, at his side, thanked his teammates, friends, and family, and his late father. Bond sat out the rest of the game. Now, Commissioner Bud Selig was not in attendance at the game, but represented by Executive Vice President of Baseball Operations Jimmy Lee Solomon. Selig called Bonds later that night to congratulate him on breaking the record. George Bush also called Bond the next day to congratulate him. August 24th, he was honored and celebrated Bond's career's accomplishments and breaking of the home run record with a large rally in Justin Herman Plaza. The rally included video messages from Lou Brock, Ernie Banks, Ozzie Smith, Joe Montana, Wayne Gretzky, and Michael Jordan. Speeches were made by Willie Mays, Giants owner Peter Magowin, Mayor Gavin Newsom presented Bonds with the key to the city and the county of San Francisco, and the Giants Vice President Larry Bayer gave Bonds the home plate he touched after hitting the home run. Now, the home run ball was consigned to an auction house on August 21st, and bidding began and closed with a winning bid of $752,000 on a three-phase auction. The high bidder, fashion designer Mark Echo, created a website to let fans decide on its fate. Now, subsequently, Ben Pandos, who submitted the $186,750 winning bid on Bonds' record-tying ball, also set up a website to let fans decide its fate. 10 million voters helped Echo design the brand the ball with an asterisk and sent it to the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum.
Woo, an asterisk.
Yes.
How exciting.
Bonds said he spent $750,000 on a ball, and that's what he's doing with it. What he's doing is stupid. Padnos, on the other hand, sold 5-year ads on the website endthedebate.com where people voted by a 2-to-1 margin to smash the ball.
Well, that's not stupid at all.
No. Well, Bonds would complete that season, hitting 28 home runs, 66 RBIs, in 126 games. At the age of 43, he had led both the leagues in walks in 132. Now, he would wind up confirming the Giants would not re-sign him for the 2008 season. The story was announced at Bonds' own website earlier that day, and officially filed for free agency on October 29, 2007. But interestingly enough, nobody would sign him. Now, some of the speculation came through because there's a couple stats that really stick out in the mind as far as, you know, Bonds and his significance in sports. First of all, you look at his early number in career seasons. He had some decent numbers. Right up until about, 1998, 1999, he got hurt. But he was still, producing really good seasons. The thing that was really surprising, though, is that those last 7 years, he just all of a sudden bloomed. Now, there's some that say that there's no official evidence that he took steroids. There was speculation about what's known as Balco. It was a Bay Area sports affiliate that helped players either recover from injuries or they took weird things like flaxseed oil and stuff to make them play better. But a number of players would wind up basically being singled out by this organization. McGuire was one of them. Rafael Palmeiro, Sammy Sosa. A number of these guys all basically got their careers labeled as tarnished by performance-enhancing drugs. One thing I do remember that Bonds did that was a little eye-opening is he used a bat that was made out of Canadian maple. And I'm not sure if that helped his batting or anything to that nature. But you could pretty much tell by his numbers that pitchers were just afraid to pitch to him. I mean, you look at how many walks he got, both intentional and otherwise. They just didn't want to give up the grand slam home run. I don't blame them. And so, when you have that many walks versus that many at-bats versus that small stats, it's going to increase your on-base percentage, obviously. And the fact that whenever they made the mistake of pitching around the plate, he usually put that souvenir out into the bay because, well, he still could hit really strong. Now, where you get into the speculation of things is, to be honest, I think if he wouldn't have done any steroids or whatever he used, he would have gotten into the Hall of Fame. But he decided that he wanted those cheers. He wanted the fan support. And so he wanted a little extra help. And he came off of a year that he was injured. He knew what that really awful season was like. And so he wanted to put together some really good seasons to end his career with. Now, the other side of that coin, and it's you got Bonds, you got McGuire, you got a number of players that all sit under that stigma cloud. Even Hank Aaron mentioned, if it's something that we got to focus on, because guys like, Mickey Mantle didn't use it, Babe Ruth didn't use it, Hank Aaron didn't use it. But at the same time, steroids only work, but they don't help you see better. They don't help you concentrate better. And so, there's still...
Only so much they can do.
Yeah, there's only so many effects that steroids are going to help you with. Now, if it helps you increase your body strength and stuff like that you need to hit home runs with, I can see where it's a benefit. You look at Barry Bonds when he was a lot younger. He was a rail of a guy. Same thing with McGuire. McGuire looked like a tree after he took some drugs. He was a big hulking redhead. But, so now you've got Barry Bonds, who officially holds the record with a ball with an asterisk. But now it's going to be interesting to see what the next generation of baseball players can come up with.
More controversies.
Yeah. I mean, right now it's kind of fun to watch Aaron Judge hit some home runs for the Yankees. But this has been the Bearded Historian. You folks have a good week, and we'll see you next week. Have a good one.